What is going on, everybody? It's the Franz, and we're here for AEW on TBS review on a special Tuesday edition of the show, where we had 4 championship matches. It was Championship Tuesday, and so much more going on tonight. Unfortunately, we have to talk about something that really put a sour note on the show, and that was what happened in the AEW World Championship match. We'll get to that when we do, as Jon Moxley defended his title against Hangman Adam Page in his hometown, and things got scary, and we'll talk about it when we will. Also, Chris Jericho on his crusade to desecrate the legacy of Ring of Honor. Plus, the Trios Championship on the line. The Women's Interim Championship is on the line with a returning former AEW Women's Champion that got the crowd up big time when she made her return. But that and more coming tonight. So we started off with Death Triangle versus the Best Friends. As we know, Pac over the last few weeks has gotten very cheaty. He's been cheating a lot. He's been using his go-to has been the hammer, the ring bell hammer, or the ring bell hammer. Would it come into play tonight? Obviously, but would it help? What would come out of that? So this match was here. Of course, Orange Cassidy is the new All-Atlantic champion. Carries it in his backpack, all that good stuff for him. So Pac charges in those ones with a big boot while on the apron. He looks lack of focus on Trent and leads to him being dropped with a clothesline. Lucha Bros come in, they take out the Best Friends, launching Chuck. Match going back and forth. Of course, everyone wants to see more Pac and Orange Cassidy. Of course, Best Friends and the Lucha Bros, also another great matchup there. If you didn't know, Penta El Zero Miedo was actually in a match a couple of days ago at Triple Mania 30, where he had to put his mask on the line, and he walked out the victor. So Pentagon could have really come here without his mask, but that did not happen. I kind of figured it was going to happen because the guy he beat was 40 or in his 60s. Now, of course, the story is what's going to happen. Obviously, the rest are a little distracted. Penta goes and grabs the hammer. He's going to use it. Phoenix guys are like, we don't need it, man. We don't need that. So that almost cost him the titles as Orange tries to roll him up. That doesn't happen. Eventually, you get Phoenix tag in, hits the double couple on tail, plants Trent with the map with his finisher for the 1-2-3 and Death Triangle retain. After the match, there's a little bit of words between Phoenix and Pac, but eventually all come down and prevail. So it looks like the tension, it's gonna Pac is going to cost them the Trios Championships. Absolutely. Who's that going to be to? Do not know. This was also the first time since All Out that the Elite had been mentioned by name on television, as Tony Schiavone did throw that name in there on this night. Has been shown backstage with the shit faker, Jamie Hayter. They're not happy about tonight's title match. They promise that at the end of the year, one of them will be the AEW Women's Champion. Get rid of this interim name, which I hope after Tony Storm and all that shit happens, it'll, after the, I don't say Tony Storm is interim champion, but it'd be the last time Tony Khan does an interim champion. It's fucking ridiculous. Have the title be vacated. Have the winner, have the person be champion. Have the person who was injured come back and be, listen, I deserve a championship match because I never lost my championship. I had to relinquish it. Now, yes, it's kind of stupid if you did it every time, but no, who'd expect to have CM Punk and Tony and Thunder Rose go down the same in a 6-month period, just injured. The two shake hands, and they have a really good match. It's it's amazing what happens when you put the women in a match. In the first half an hour it started, by the way. They were at the 8:25 mark when this match started. So, they have a match here. Really good stuff. Sheeta's putting everything out there, doing all she can, because she has a tag team title in one Japanese promotion. She has the women's main title and another Joshi promotion. She wants to add the AEW Women's Championship to be 3-belt Sheeta. Storm was planted next and is blocked by Sheeta, and then she plants the champion down only to get a near fall. The two go back and forth with Rollins, but neither get this win. Storm hits a German suplex with the bridge, while Sheeta kicks out. And Sheeta, for the majority of this match, had half of her fucking tights pulled up into her ass, so everyone got a nice look at half of Sheeta's ass. Storm hits the big forearm strikes afterwards, busts out the Storm Zero. In a flash, 1, 2, 3, she retains the championship. After the match, here comes Jamie Hayter from behind with a crutch for whatever reason. Why are they holding a crutch? Why? So here comes Shit Faker, who's coming out wearing a Squirrels jersey. We're in Cincinnati, obviously, so that's going to get a bunch of boos. Saraya comes down, they fight. She actually tackles. She tackles Shit Faker and starts fighting. They start fighting. They go over the barricade. And then we see Hayter and Rebel like, what do we do? Let's go back to beating up Toni Storm. Here comes everyone's favorite Joshi, Rijo, in the cutest pink outfit probably ever. She looked like Rijo still looks like a fucking child. I don't know why, but she still looks like a child. Takes out Rebel, hits Hayter with a crossbody on the ring outside, and she embraces Toni Storm and helps her to the back, and that was that. Toni Storm retains her championship, and Riho makes a return, and she will have a match with Jamie Hayter next week, and I know everybody loves himself some Riho, and Jamie Hayter are looking forward to that match next week. Next week in the normal time slot on Wednesday. Video package then shown of Wardlow and Samoa talking to about the Kingdom, making it clear that they have no problem taking them out. You guys can choose a tag team match. You can choose a champion. Either one of us as champions to take on. It's all going to end the same. Manny Pacquiao is backstage with FTR in the midst of the biggest struggle on the back, but they want the AEW Women's World Tag Team Championships. They interrupt by swerving on Glory and make it clear that they deserve to be number one contenders. As we know, FTR has been number one contender since April, I think, March or April. And last I checked, AEW hasn't updated the rankings in 2 months. I think August was the last time, unless I'm wrong somewhere. So basically, FTR challenges them to a match next week, Swerving on Glory, FTR, for the number one contendership to the AEW World Tag Team titles. And Keith Lee's like, indubitably. And they walk off. So that is going to be match next week. That has got to be the main event next week. That is a damn good match right there. Jay Lethal's backstage requesting a rematch with Darby Allin and agrees. He says he will beat him again. Then you want another rematch? I'll beat you again. Sandra then says he knows Allen's weakness because a little old friend of yours told us what it is. They tell Alex to leave. He shoves both of them and then they beat up on him and throw him into metal guard. And then they lower the metal guard down onto his ribs. And then Jay Lethal goes to the other side, puts him in a figure four, and they pull him off. So Darby Allin versus Jay Lethal happening soon. They didn't actually announce it for next week, unless it's on Rampage, and I missed that. We hear from William Regal. By the way, this is the month of Rampage being almost always live. It was not live last week. It was actually taped the day after, but it was still, not live. But it will be this week, and I believe it will be the week after. Obviously, it'll be in Jacksonville this Friday for Rampage. William Regal is in the ring. Tony Schiavone welcomes in and says that he is the leader of the Blackpool Combat Club, and that his man John Moxley will have a match later tonight against Hangman. Only thing we got to say was for the AEW World Championship, here comes MJF. And I wish they had the video up on YouTube because this is something that I could not do any justice to. This is it's story time with MJF. He brings up the fact that when he was 19 years old, 7 years ago, he got in contact. He was wrestling with the Creator Pro. He was, training at Creator Pro with Brian Myers and Pat Buck. Pat Buck, of course, works for AEW now, and Brian Myers, of course, works and Brian Myers works for Impact. There you go. And that. One of those nights, just one day, it came down. He was working, training and everything, when his trainer said, "Dude, we got some great news for you. We got you work at WWE, some extra work." I believe this is around the time that Samoa Joe was NXT champion. Has it been that long, really? And they had that whole thing where MJF was in as a what was it called, a security for Samoa Joe, and he ended up getting pushed to the side. That was yeah. So he told us that they all had tryout matches. All these guys had tryout matches before the show. And the first two, his match was second, and his match. Well, the first match went on. Dean Malenko, as soon as they locked up, Dean Malenko rang the bell and said, "Get out, get out." So his match was on second. He had his match. It went better than anyone could expect, and yeah, and Regal pulled him aside, and he took him aside and was like, "Listen, you have 3 minutes to sell me on you. Go." And he did. And then Regal asked him. He told him he was going to get him work, and MJF was like, "My dreams are coming true, my aspirations, everything." And then Regal asked him, "How old are you?" And he said he is 19 years old, sir. And then Regal cracked a smile and is like, you're not of age. You're not of age. Even though it's kind of funny because Roxanne Perez is 20 years old and she works there now, and she's been there for majority of this year. I think she turned 20 this year. So the fact that William Regal told MJF that they don't hire somebody who is 19 years old, not 18, but 19 years old, it's kind of funny because I know we had Rene Dupree is a former WWE Tag Team Champion, World Tag Team Champion, and I believe the guy was 19 years old when he won that title. That's neither here nor there. And then MJF's like, my confidence, like everything shot, everything, just like his dreams evaporated, everything. But then you get some hope, and it's like we can't hire you now, but when you have age, I'll get you a job here. My list of people I have my name to are Claudio Castagnoli, Bryan Danielson, John Moxley. I think there was one more, but I can't remember the name. And when you have age, I will put my name to you. I'll vouch for you pretty much, and I will get you a job. But right now, I need you to go out there, bust your ass, and every month send me a tape, and send me a tape of a match and a promo to keep me informed. And MJF did this for 2 months, and then the third month came, sent that match and promo in, and then he got an email pretty much telling him that I'm a very busy man, MJ Maxwell. I don't have time to look at your stuff right now, and just this. He actually has the email apparently saved still. I don't know if that's true or not, but he pretty much was rejected and said that go be with WWE employ the very best, the very best at what they do, and what you need to do is go out there and become one of the absolute best, and we will make sure that you get a job here. And MJF said that made him want to kill himself. He was not happy, but if he did that, it means that him and the naysayers all win, and that he did what he needed to do, and that was to bust his ass week in and week out until he became the man that we see today. And that he is better than everyone, and you know it, better than Regal, and you know it. And Regal gets on the mic and is like, "Dude, you disappoint me. I saw everything that you've been like. I saw it back then. What I see now, that you are going to be where you are now. But like, I wanted to light a fire on your ass because I didn't want you to get complacent. And like I said, I can't do this any justice because both of these guys just fucking killed it. This was a promo of the year, and we've had many of those in AEW. Can't say much about any other company that I've seen. I've seen some companies, but this right here was just fucking great. And basically, he said, I'm a villain. I've been talking shit on Tony Schiavone since you were a child, but I never put my hands on him. People have been in the ring, that's fair game, but I would never put my hands on him. I'm an old something villain, ODV or something like that. And Carl says that he cuts corners. Everyone, he always has somebody to have his back. He doesn't earn anything himself. And if you really want to be the best that you can be the AEW champ, you want to do all that, you need to do this and earn this yourself. And then he turns it back and pretty much is just like, if you really want to show us all that you how much of a villain you really can be, puts it back, puts his arms out, and wants MJF to just slug him. MJF puts the ring on, he just hesitates. He hesitates. Rijo eventually just turns around and is like, you still have so much to learn, and leaves. MJF is there, just beside himself that he didn't do what he needed to do. So that is that. Renee Paquette is back with the Acclaim. They say this Friday there will be title versus trademark, as of course Sesame has been banned from them to use. Even Daddy Ass has his Sesame on his Sesame Daddy Ass shirt taped over so it doesn't say Sesame. And basically they're gonna get their names back next. They're gonna get their stuff back next Friday. So titles versus the versus the trademark. Renee Paquette is now backstage with this got very interesting. We already got teasing of Wheeler Yuta's defection from the Blackpool Combat Club. Renee Paquette sits down with Ryan Danielson and Wheeler Yuta, and I'm like, what's this about? Why are we getting both these guys sitting down? There's like, why? Well, she asked Danielson about him losing the championship last week. It hurts, he says. It sucks. That title has made me as a part of my career, made me what I am today. Then she asked about what happened with Daniel Garcia, and he said he had a lot of potential in him. He saw a lot of potential in him, and thinks with the right guidance, he could be one of the best wrestlers anyone could ever see. And the whole time, Wheeler Yuta's got this look of like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Like, are you serious? And then Renee Paquette's like, I can't help but see that you like your body language and stuff. And he's like, Daniel said, you couldn't see that coming a mile away. Me and Claudia could see it a mile away. Moxley can see it a mile away. But he's using you. He has Dragon Slayer in his name. He's just using you to get what he wants. And he wasn't surprised what happened last week. He says he bled on the Blackpool Combat Club. He thought it meant something, but clearly it doesn't to Danielson. And he walks off. So, tension there. And we'll see what happens as it comes down. It takes the Blackpool Combat Club in a different direction, because honestly, outside of Moxley being champion, they've been kind of directionless. What has Claudia been doing? What is Wheeler doing? Danielson's doing the stuff with Jericho, but the other guys, it's just like the whole club just feels like they put the Blackpool Combat Club together for the feud with the Jericho Appreciation Society, and it just they're just dragging it along. Chris Jericho versus Dalton Castle with the boys. This was fucking great. This just shows how great Chris Jericho is. A lot of people didn't know, like I was seeing all this on social media. Nobody really thought what they could get out of Dalton Castle when this match first started. It just shows how good Jericho is to adapting to do what he can to help get the other guy over. He did it with Bandito. He didn't have to do it with Bryan Danielson because he's Bryan fucking Danielson. He did it tonight with Dalton Castle. Cincinnati went from to this is awesome and everything in between. Fucking the boys all beat up on Jake Hager, and they took his hat, and he's like, I love that damn hat. Beats up all the boys, gets his hat back, all that good stuff. Jericho won this match clean, by the way. This is the first time in this ring that Jericho actually won a match clean. Dalton Castle hit the bangarang. Jericho kicked out of it. They're going for something. They like fumble around a minute, and then out of nowhere comes the Judas effect. 1, 2, 3. Jericho picks up the win. After he wins, he tells everyone to honor the Ocho. He's taking out champions. Ring announcer even commented and says he's going to take out even the commentators. They grab Ian Riccaboni. They go to hit him with the title. Jalen makes a save, pulls the title off. He says something to Jericho. Jericho kicks him and low blows him. Then hits him with a tombstone on the title. Holy shit. There you go. So that is that. Jalen, of course, a former Ring of Honor champion, but there's no way he's going to be able to have a match at all. They did mention how he's had multiple neck surgeries to help repair his neck. So this was the way for Jericho to get at Ring of Honor, but also keep the without having Jalen to come out of retirement. They also mentioned during this match that Final Battle has been announced for December the 10th at 3 p.m. It said Central Time on the thing. It didn't say EST, but I think it's either 3 or it's like 3 p.m. EST time probably. Why? It's Heisman Sunday, Saturday. I guess they don't want to go up against the Heisman, which is stupid as shit. Just put it on in its normal time. Tony Khan needs to fucking realize that it doesn't fucking matter about football and stuff when it comes to wrestling. I know why we're having Full Gear on Saturday and Sunday. He never wants to go up against the NFL. Funk that. Who gives a shit? We're gonna watch wrestling for wrestling. But obviously, Jericho's gonna have a big match at that show. I don't know who it's gonna be. It could be the same. Like we have between now and then to get Daniel Garcia from being Jericho's lackey to being Jericho's opponent at Final Battle. FTR, I think FTR should drop to the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships before that, so they can go to Japan and participate in World Tag League with the IWGP World Tag Team titles. And Dragon Lee need to beat them for the AAA titles. That's just me. But we could possibly also see Rijo implode and have Wardlow versus Samoa Joe for the TV championship at the pay-per-view. That would be a fucking banger. So many things to look up. We had the Kingdom, we had the Gates of Agony, which I think the Gates of Agony are going to take on Dalton Castle and the boys at the pay-per-view. I think that's exactly what's going to happen there. We'll have to wait and see. John Moxley versus Adam Hangman Page. I can't even really want to talk about this match because of the end of the match. It just takes anything. Now, Hangman attacked Moxley in the crowd before the match. Hit him with a moonsault off the balcony to the ground. And it's like, I just don't want to talk about it because of just how things ended. Hangman and them were having a fucking banger of a match. It was really good. And then one King Kong lariat later, Hangman Adam Page lands to the back of his head, hits the mat while the rest of his body is going forward. And immediately, just everything stopped. Everything stopped. The referee checked on him. The medical staff came in. Hangman was moving his arms, so that's a good thing. But they rang the bell. John Moxley won. And immediately you could be like, oh, immediately it's like they could have did this. Well, yes, there's talk of Hangman having neck and shoulder issues. They can use this as a storyline for later down the line after Hangman wins the championship. And it's like, hey, I should get another championship match. My match got ended because of for that, but whatever. But no, as soon as they announced Moxley, they did not play his music. They tried to focus as much as they could away from Hangman Adam Page. They spent most of the time on the commentators going to Moxley and William Regal for a minute or two, then going back to them, going over the cards for Friday and Wednesday again. You knew it was real immediately after that. I know there's going to be people out there that's like, oh, it's all work. No. If it was a work, they would have had, after they rang the bell, they would have showed the stretcher and everything. They had to take the ring ropes off. I saw some of these fan cam footage. They had to take the bottom ring rope off just to get Hangman out of the ring on a stretcher. That's when you know it's real. Hangman Adam Page got injured. I don't think he won the match in the first place because I don't like rewarding bad behavior, but that's neither here nor there. Speedy recovery to Hangman Adam Page. I hope this is not the last time we see him because bad behavior or not, this is one of the best guys in the company, one of the most over guys in the company, and him going down with the Bucks out, with Kenny out, with CM Punk out, it definitely does hurt AEW. With Cole out, with O'Reilly out, it does really hurt AEW a bit. But Moxley finally got the mic, wished him a speedy recovery, and then called out MJF because he ran his mouth earlier, and he wanted to see if he would want to fight him right now. MJF does eventually come out. He brings out Bryce Rensburg, takes off his jacket, and takes off his scarf, off his suit, his dress shirt. Looks like we're about to have a fight. He grabs his chip, hands it to Regal, runs up, grabs the mic, and says, "I want a match between. I'm going to cash this chip in, but when I do, I don't want him after a match. I don't want him when you're at 50%. I want you at 110%. So when I beat you, you know I'm better than you, and you know it. And that match is going to happen at Full Gear." Also, twice when John Moxley grabbed the microphone, the lights went red for a minute, went back up. When MJF grabbed the mic, the lights went red for a minute and then went back up. I'm like, what the fuck's up with that? Maybe they're teasing something. I don't know. He says, once first time in his life, he's going to earn it, drops the mic and leaves. And then Moxley gets on the mic and says, you've earned my foot in your mouth, your teeth going down your stomach so you can shit them out, my hand up your ass, which I think would have went the other way around, but whatever. And then he's going to beat and bloody him and everything else. And that's how the show went off the air with Jon Moxley and MJF having their final words, the first bout of words before we get the match at Full Gear. Tonight was a really fun, good show, and I sit here and laugh and go, I see what NXT was going to go up against in the main event for this, and they went up with Cora Jade versus Raquel Rodriguez. And Braun Breaker, Ilya Dragunov, and JD McDonough on the Kevin Owens show. You know how desperate they were? They had the OC on there. They had Shinsuke Nakamura make a surprise appearance for a match. They had Raquel Rodriguez and Rhea Ripley on this show. They were desperate to have a good showing because they wanted people to watch NXT. Then you have, right before Cora Jade and Raquel Rodriguez, you have Zion Quinn and Quincy Elliott, which was right at the beginning of this world title match. Give me a fucking break. I don't want to bash on NXT that much because I used to love NXT back in the day before it became the Vince McMahon, Bruce Pritchard show. But I looked at the results as it was going on and I'm like, man, they didn't even fucking try. The fact that your main event match was Raquel versus Cora Jade over Rhea Ripley versus Roxanne Perez. Wow, that's bad. But that is all of your AEW review. Speedy recovery to Hangman on the page. Hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video. Find me on Minds of the France Club. Find me on twitch.tv/The France Club. And find me on Instagram, The France Club. And I will see you guys on a Friday for SmackDown. Until then, my name is The France, and I'll see you guys later.